Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have solar light Dollar Tree DIYs for you. I have 20 of them. So let's get started with all of my new solar light DIYs. For the first one, I wanted to take this coffee creamer from the kitchen section at Dollar Tree and make this into a fun solar light that I can hang outside, preferably in a tree. And I have some of the gemstones from the Dollar Tree. I want the blue and the greenish ones there, and so I want to mix those together. Now, as far as this solar light, I need one a little bit smaller. So I found this 6-pack of them at Dollar General, a little bit cheaper than Dollar Tree because you get 6 of them for $5. So keep that in mind. And they are a little bit smaller. So it's going to fit inside this little coffee cream jar like that, where the Dollar Tree ones would not fit in there. So sometimes I like to switch it up and get things at Dollar General, and sometimes they are definitely cheaper. So I just go ahead and remove the tag from the bottom, and I'm going to glue this solar light into the bottom of the jar like this, upside down. I just put my back on the stake to make it easier to put in there and make sure it is dry. Now, mine did fall, so I don't know if I didn't get it glued in there, but what I did is I went back in with some stronger glue and mixed that with hot glue, and it seems like it's fine now, but at first I tried it with hot glue. Glass and hot glue is always a little bit tricky. Now, what I want to do is make a hanger for this. At first, I thought about using some fishing line, but I thought that the jute twine would be stronger. So I need one piece long enough to go all the way around and tie off, and I also wanted 4 about the same length to make hangers for this, so we can hang it nice and level. I do want them to be strung through the one that goes around the jar, though, to make it stronger like that. I think that's going to be strong enough to hold it. And there is a ledge on the bottom of this creamer, and some of the candle holders and stuff at Dollar Tree, if you're going to use one of those, that would work for that. And then I'm going to do one about every quarter of the way around, just dotting it with hot glue on there to help keep that in place, to keep it from sliding around. And I do that with all of them, with the loose ends towards the top. And I left the lid on the coffee creamer, the metal lid, because I thought that would give me a really fun light effect when I light this up with a solar light, and it did. So I just tie off the twine, double tie it here, secure that with a little bit of hot glue there. That is the one that went around. It's also reinforced by that ledge there, so I don't have to get it super tight. And then I take my 8 pieces now, and I'm going to pull them all together and just knot them all together to give me a hanger for this. I could always make this longer by adding more twine to this, but this is going to be a nice little hanger for our solar light. Now I want to cover this with gemstones, so I'm using some of the glass gems from the Dollar Tree. I really want the blue ones and like that turquoise green like color one. And I want to do kind of a pattern on here with those. I think that would be great. Now, I've worked with the glass gems and glass before outside, and I have found the best way to do that is to use a really strong glue, like this Gorilla Glue Clear Grip, and put it on there first, let it start to get tacky a little bit, and then I'm going to add hot glue to the glass itself. I've done this with solar lights that I've made in the past, and they've held up well outdoors, but if I just tried hot glue or the Gorilla Glue, they just fall right off. And I guess that, you're not really supposed to mix the 2 different kinds of glue together, but I seem to be able to get away with it on this one. So for the first one, I did a pattern of blue, blue, green, blue, blue. And then for the next one, I'm going to mix that up a little bit. I thought I would do green on the ends, blue in the middle, and just adding a dot of hot glue. I want them to be in little stripes like that going down the side with a little bit of a gap in between each one. I went ahead and did 3 rows, and then I decided I probably need to figure out my spacing all the way around so I don't end up with a big gap without any gems. So I figured out how many I can do. I think I did a total of 10 rows around, and I was able to alternate it since that's an even number. So again, just the Gorilla Glue Clear Grip is what I'm using, and then a dot of hot glue on the glass. That combination seems to work. I still do have to let it sit and dry, And if you have any loose ones, be sure to check for those because you don't want them falling off once you hang this outside. You probably wouldn't be able to find them. And so I repeat that same pattern. So I have 2 different patterns. So I just laid them out in advance when I put the glue on them. That way I would remember my pattern and be able to do it right. I had, the first one on there, and I'm just going to keep going around and trying to make sure that everything fits. I had a couple that didn't fit great, because, they're not even in size. And I did unscrew the bottom a little bit to allow a little bit more room for that to fit, because you're going to want them to be flat against the glass like that. That's the one that I did have to kind of fix. But here we are on our last row of this. It's so cute. I did let it dry, and I checked to make sure that none of my glass shims were loose. This turned out so pretty. So let me show you what the solar light DIY looks like during the day. It's really pretty during the day because you have all those beautiful blue colors. It almost gives you like a chandelier vibe with like the rose, but without any of the strings, which I was thinking about making a solar light chandelier. Maybe in my next solar light DIY video, if this video does well. It is slow out here in these YouTube streets. So this is what it looks like lit up. So pretty. And I did get that color effect that I thought I would get with like the creamer with all the openings on the bottom. I was hoping it would like shower out light, and it does. So I took a third picture of this to show you what it looks like when it is shining that light down on the ground. Isn't that so cool? I'm so glad I decided to leave the lid on there, because a special light effect like that just makes it even better. So again, this is what it looks like during the day. Our little glass gem solar light lantern, and this is what it looks like lit up at night. For the next DIY, I picked up some of the flower solar lights they have this year. Have they had these before? I don't know. I picked up pink, yellow, and purple, and I also found pink, yellow, and purple glass vases from the Dollar Tree. So I thought I would take advantage of the fact that they're all the right colors, right? And I want to see if I can make a cool flower solar light DIY. So I do want flowers inside. I don't want it to be just empty. So I'm using some of the baby's breath from Dollar Tree, and I'm using it in white. So it'll kind of take on whatever color's inside. I just wanted something tiny enough to fit in there. And I do want to leave the leaves on there. I cut them all down about the same size and add those to our glass vases. These 3 solar light DIYs are so easy. All I'm going to do is remove the solar light from the flower. And again, when you're buying solar lights at the Dollar Tree, always check to see if they work. I had to go back to the store because the pink one didn't work. And I added a little bit of the Gorilla Glue Clear Grip all the way around. I'm not going to use any hot glue on this. I want this to be super strong, and I want the bottle to be sealed because it's going to be outside. I don't want to get any moisture inside of it. And there is our first one, our purple flower solar light. So they're not super bright to light up the jar. I was hoping they'd be a little bit brighter. They do give you a cool effect though. I thought this would be a fun way to do it besides just putting them in a vase like regular flowers, right? So for the yellow one, I do the same thing. It's got the baby's breath inside. I add the Gorilla Clear Grip and the yellow flower. And I do have to let these dry since it's not as fast as the hot glue. The pink's a little bit different shade of pink than the vase, but I think we can make it work. I like that they're all different shapes too. I think that they also had red, but I thought these colors were really springy and would be really fun. So I just put the bead of glue all the way around where it will come into contact with the solar light. And I told you that these were going to be easy. We have 3 little flower solar lights here. So pretty, all displayed together or scattered around your porch or in landscaping. A really fun DIY for spring or summer, I think. As you can see, they're really beautiful during the day, which most solar lights aren't. Most solar lights, are just completely forgettable during the day. But these look really pretty. And let me show you what they look like at night. So as you can see, it does light up the bottle a little bit, but mainly the flower lights up like that, which is still really cool. And I like the variety of colors. I think that looks really neat. Pretty cool, huh? Here it is during the day. And here are these 3 solar lights lit up. Really fun. I had so much fun putting those together for you. For the next DIY, I'm going to take one of the little terracotta flower pots. This is the 2-pack, so it's a little bit larger than the 3-pack one. Always make sure those aren't cracked. I always try to make sure I don't go home with broken ones I have before. And a solar light from the Dollar Tree. These are the ones this year. They're a little bit wider with the little lamp base on there, which will work for this one. I want to be able to put the hole there on the bottom of the solar light into the pot though to make it more stable. So I just took a screwdriver and a hammer and I'm just busting out that hole that was already in the bottom to make it bigger, but trying to do it one step at a time so I don't crack the pot, right? So I think that will work and it'll make it a lot more stable than just sitting it on top of it, if you know what I mean. So I put some hot glue around the little peg and I stick that down into the pot, gluing that into place. Now, what I wanted to do was a beehive or a bee skep theme on the solar light. I thought that'd be really pretty for spring or summer. So I'm just going to take some Dollar Tree rope. I'm using the thinner, I think it's a 9-foot of the brown rope, and it's going to take like 1.5 packages of it. I start down here at the very bottom of the flower pot and I'm attaching that with hot glue. And I'm going to wrap this around. I want to keep this as close to the bottom as I can. So I kind of sit it down as I do it. And that little area there where I continue the rope, I want to make sure that that continues. You can't see any of the pot through there. I didn't want to hot glue all of it down. I did find that I needed to at that first like lip down there at the bottom. And you really can't see that. I wanted the shape of like a bee skep or a beehive, and I really got that look, right? So I just keep going until I run out of rope for the first one. I almost had enough. And then I'm just going to start and stop. The brown rope from the Dollar Tree blends really well. Just make sure you remove your plastic from the tip, of course. You can see I don't have very much left to do. I do want to go all the way up to the solar light. And one thing I noticed about this new Dollar Tree solar light this year is it has those lines on the side, so it kind of gives you a cool line pattern coming out each side when you light it up at night. The old ones were like more of a star pattern and they were smaller, the little lamp. They seem to change them up a lot. And I went to Dollar Tree twice today and they had so many new kinds of solar lights. Really fun. For the opening of the bee skep, I just take some black acrylic paint. I think this is actually the chalkboard paint from the Dollar Tree. It's very black. And just paint that on with a paintbrush into a circle. For the bumblebee, I found these in the school supply aisle. They are little erasers. Aren't they so cute? They have different little bugs here, butterflies, bees, ladybugs. I thought those would be really cute for a DIY, and it'd be waterproof because it's like a rubbery material. I just attached that to my bee skep with some hot glue, also tacking down the wing on that, and it's just the right scale. I didn't really burn off any of the fuzzies on this one, so I went and did it later. It really wasn't that bad, but this is how it turned out, our little bee skep solar light. I think this would be so fun mixed in with your landscaping. I think it would also be a fun light like for a little fairy garden area as well. Super easy. It's cute during the day because you see the little bee skep and the little bee on there, right? I love bee DIYs. And then it lights up really pretty. So you can kind of see the lines that I was talking about reflected on the floor there. See how they kind of go out into a starburst pattern? So it does have a cool effect. And they are definitely larger and maybe a little bit brighter. I'm not sure. They're pretty bright. I love solar light DIYs. They're some of my favorite. During the day and lit up at night. Really fun, huh? I thought that would be a fun theme and mix it up a little bit. For the next one, I got pencil cups in this great copper finish. I also found copper solar lights at the Dollar Tree, so I picked up 3 of each. I thought we could combine these together and make stringing lights, like 3 stringing solar lights, and make them kind of look industrial. I think these are so pretty. Now, I was trying to decide how in the world I was going to attach that in there. I didn't think glue would really keep that in there hanging upside down. And so I'll show you what I ended up doing. I was thinking if I can't really do that, I could kind of like sit it in there, but I would really need to kind of cut a hole in the wire to make it stay in place. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. The wire on these pencil cups is nice and thin, and so it's easy enough to cut with some wire cutters. These wire cutters I got at, I think, Lowe's. They're really pretty good. I like the fact that they're nice and small for my hand, and they work pretty well for cutting out wire. Now, I didn't want to make it too big, the hole, so I kind of started small on this one to kind of figure out what I was doing. I got a little bit faster on the other two. But I sit it in there, pushing it through. The tension really holds it into place. I don't think I really need to glue or anything. That wire tension is going to hold that into place as soon as I get it to the right size opening. Maybe a few more snips on this one. Again, I really want it to be snug. You won't have to worry about water gathering in this because it can go straight out from the bottom through the openings in the mesh. And the top of it will be kind of open like that. So the solar lights will be able to charge well. I think this is going to work really great. You can make put as many of these together as you needed, a string of lights. And the great thing about this is that you won't need any electricity. So for the second one, I do the same thing. I just snip out a hole, try to get it somewhere towards the center, about the same size, and put my second light in there. What I'm going to use to string them together is the planter hanger chain from the Dollar Tree. I thought a chain would be really durable and it would be pretty easy to hang those up with that. I'm just going to leave it in black, but you could paint it in copper to match this if you're going to do the same color scheme as me, right? So I have 3 of mine, and here is the wire. It has a hook on top, and then it has 3 chains that come down that all have little hooks on them. So I really need 4, but my Dollar Tree only had 1 of these, so we're going to make this work. I'm going to go ahead and use like some pliers to remove that from the top of the hook. Now, one side is really easy because it's got the little clip on it, right? So I'm just going to clip that to the top of the pencil cup like that. And then I am going to do the same thing here on the other side. Clip it to the pencil cup like that. And I can just hang those chains on nails like that or hooks. Now for the middle section, I'm just going to take my extra wire here and I am going to cut it in half. So what I'm going to do is just bend it where I can go over and under this and then clip that on by closing it. I found that this chain was pretty heavy duty. You did have to apply a little muscle there. And then I'm going to figure out how long. I take the little clip off because I only have 1 clip at this point, so I can't really use those. And it looks like 1 piece can be removed, and then the 2 pieces will be the same length, so it can be evenly spaced like that, right? I open up this side as well, where I'll be able to go over the top of the pencil cup and put that on there. I just make sure that I'm working, they're separated into quarters, so just make sure you're working directly opposite when you go to attach your next chain here on the other side. So this is the leftover piece. I just open and close that with my pliers, making sure that I got it on there really good. And then one more, I just make sure I'm putting it on the right rung here, and I string that one on as well. So we have these industrial looking like can lights. They're really cool, and they're solar, so that's so much fun. It's kind of hard to show you here where I normally take pictures how big this is, but here is my string of 3 solar lights. Really pretty. Totally love the copper color on these, and just this would go with really any kind of decor and be really practical outside because you're not going to need any electricity, right? So this is what they look like lit up. Nice and bright using the attached lamp that was already on there. But when I saw these pencil cups at the Dollar Tree today, I just knew I needed to make some solar lights with them. And again, you can make it as long as you wanted to. Aren't they so pretty? I love that. If I had any copper color spray paint, I might have spray painted the chain too, but I think it looks fine in black. For the next DIY, I'm going to use one of these $3 lanterns from Dollar Tree. I think these are so cool. I don't think I've ever seen these before. They're like wood and black, and I thought we could make this into a fun solar lantern for spring. So Dollar Tree has these really pretty eucalyptuses right now with like pink tops on them. And so I thought those would be pretty to actually put down into the lantern because we're going to light it from the top. So when it's lit up, I want something to be lit up in there, right? And so I thought eucalyptus would be perfect. I found these with like pink tops and yellow tops. I think they're so pretty. I just cut them down, the pink parts, to make sure they're not too tall, and close my lantern. For the solar light, I'm using a Dollar Tree solar light, and I was trying to find a black one, but you know what? This is kind of black. We're going to make it work. Now, this does have a hanger here at the top, which I'm going to remove. You don't have to because you could just let it hang down on one side. I wanted it removed, but it was strong. It was a little difficult to get that off there, but I stuck with it. Now, for the solar light, I want that to go in like that and light up everything using that light that's attached to it. And even though it's a circle in a square, I think we can make this work. I just popped the black metallic finish off of that just to leave the black plastic sides. I'm fine with that. And I put hot glue all around the top of the lantern. And I thought this would be a really fun solar way to do this lantern. It's a really nice lantern because it's well made out of wood. It opens and closes. It has a little tab that keeps it closed. Now, to kind of blend it from the circle to the square shape and give me an area to be able to decorate a little bit more for spring, I decided to use rope. So my leftover scrap rope, I just take and hot glue. This is also going to help keep that solar light on there by gluing to both of them. But I'm going to continue that rope all the way down and cover most of the metal top of this lantern. I just thought it would be a fun way to decorate that, but it's totally optional. You could leave that part off if you wanted to. I wanted to decorate this for spring, and I was a little intimidated by all the black colors on it that I didn't think I could make it look very pretty for spring. But with the pink eucalyptus, and we're going to add some pink flowers to the rope, it really, I think, turned out with a fun spring influence without having to take it all apart and painting everything. So I have a fun part here. I was burning off the fuzzies and I turned it around. I totally could not see this little fire brewing. Do you see that? I almost walked away to go get my flowers. I'm so glad that I smelled something burning. I could have had my garage on fire. That would have been bad. So I found these beautiful spring flowers. Every time I think I have enough flowers, I go to Dollar Tree. They have pretty ones. They're camellia and they have light pink and white. So I want to make it look a little bit random. So I just cut the stems off to make them shorter and attach like a larger pink one with a white one next to it that's a little bit smaller in size. And I do want to wrap that around the sides a little bit too. So I do a pink one over here, just raising it up a little bit, and a pink one here on the other side. A fun spring touch to this lantern. And then I thought maybe I needed one more piece of eucalyptus inside to fill out my lantern. And then the solar light on top will light it up without a candle or anything out there. So I think that's really cool. And like some of the other ones, it's really pretty during the day, which I love. And then a fun surprise at night when it lights up all on its own. I do solar lights on my front porch, in my landscaping, all the way around my house. I do them in my Florida room. I do them out by the fire pit. I do these things everywhere. I love the ambiance at night when they light up. And as you can see, that eucalyptus provides a really fun pattern, and it lights up the entire lantern with just that solar light on top, which is really fun because you don't have to turn it on or anything. It just turns itself on every day. And I guess you could hang it if you wanted to. You would probably need to put like a piece of twine on there to make a hanger. For this DIY, I wanted to combine a couple things I found at the Dollar Tree. I found a really pretty candle holder and a really pretty glass bottle that's the same color. So I thought we could put these together and maybe make a lamp out of it. So I'm going to put this upside down. So I do need all the tags to be off there. That one had the stickiest tag ever on there. But nothing a little heat and glue away can't take care of. And I want them both to be really clean because I want to glue them together, and I want the glasses to bond like that. The candle holder I thought would be a nice strong base to make it heavier, combining the two glass pieces together. And I'm just going to have it upside down, holding up the bottle. Since it's glass on glass, I use some of the Gorilla Clear Grip glue and then hot glue in the middle. Little short-term, long-term hold on that and put it on there. I think it kind of looks like a little bit like a lampshade, right? And you can see through it. So I'm going to fill it up and make a little beach scene in mine. I do some of the Dollar Tree sand in here. Not too much. I want to leave room for some seashells that I found at the beach. So I'm just going to scatter some of those in there. And I want to light this up with a solar light. I'm going to be using one of the solar lights from Dollar General that are a little bit smaller, but you could always use the ones from the Dollar Tree for this one as well. I also added a couple of the Dollar Tree shells in there as well. So I'm just going to use the very top part like that, and that light bulb will light up the entire bottle. I was trying to decide if I was going to keep this bow or not. I end up ditching it. It was bothering me. But I'm just going to connect the solar light with hot glue around the rim. It's a perfect size. I think that's going to be strong enough. And then I decided maybe this raffia would look better maybe if I just knotted it. And then I was like, you know what? It's really not necessary. So I'm just going to remove it. And here it is, our fun little solar light, little beach theme. And combining the two glasses together makes it a little bit stronger. I don't think it will tip over super easily. And you might be able to push it down into your landscaping or your dirt a little bit because of the opening in the bottom of the candle holder. But isn't that candle holder so pretty? I just found that at my store. I thought that those were Shore Living last year, but Lord knows we're not getting Shore Living this year. So they just put them out, but who knows? But this is how it looks lit up. See how bright that is? Showing off some of my seashell collection. I love a good coastal solar light DIY. And this was so easy to put together. Just like 3 things from the Dollar Tree and filling it up with some filler. Isn't that so pretty? I love it. It's very simple. And here are some more solar light DIYs I've done here on my channel. I'm going to use 2 of the Shore Living plastic shell dishes. I love these things. I'm hoping maybe you have some left over from last year, or maybe you were able to find them. But this is one of my favorite solar light DIYs, so I absolutely had to include it in today's video. And I want to combine them with one of those little Dollar Tree baseballs and light that up with a solar light. So it kind of looks like, you know, like a pearl inside of an oyster. It's kind of an idea I had, and I thought we could maybe pull it off if I can find a way to light up the ball with it. Now, I don't want this to stand out like too much. This is just the very top of the solar light from the Dollar Tree, and it's silver. They come in like silver and black, I think. I just go over and paint like all of the silver parts just white with some white acrylic paint just to kind of make it blend in like a little bit with the ball. It is going to have to stick out from the shape of the pearl. There was really no way around that. But I think if I paint it white a little bit, it will make it blend in a little bit. So I want to go ahead and start constructing this thing. Now, originally I wanted to drill a hole in the middle and try to attach it to the stake. So I just used a screw to drill a hole in the middle. You might want to use a drill bit because the plastic does kind of split on these pretty easily. But I'm also just going to drill some extra holes in the bottom so that it won't hold water just because of the shape of the shell. I think it might hold water if it doesn't have some drainage holes. Now, again, I was going to attach it to the stake, the little, light came on. And I was going to try to do that with like screwing it into clay inside the pole. But I started it, but I just didn't think it was going to work. So I'm just going to weigh it down with just a wood circle from the Dollar Tree. Just because it's so lightweight, I don't want it like tipping over, and I want to be able to use this outside. If I find a way to attach it to a stick, I'll have to let you guys know. But I just use a Dollar Tree screw that down into the wood. That way I kind of have just a steady base that I can kind of build it. Then I had to figure out how I'm going to be able to put the 2 shells together to make them look like one and make it look like it's open. So what I decided was I could screw them on. This project took me a while because at first I tried wiring them and that didn't really work. And so the screwing method worked way better. But what I just do is I go in and drill 3 holes. I thought that would probably make it sturdier. Right here at the back of the base. Like that. And then I'm going to go in the top of the shell and do like the same 3 holes on that. You might want to mark it so you get them all in the right spot. I think I got like 2 in the right spot. So I did have to kind of fix it. But I want to kind of match those holes up together so we can put this together to make a nice strong piece. Now, I didn't really have like any short screws that would be able to work through there. All I had was like the Dollar Tree screws there. Like they were kind of like a medium size. And so that's what we're going to use. They're going to be a little too long, but that's okay. I just go ahead and fix my holes so they line up properly. And then using those screws, I'm going to screw all the way through. Since the holes were already like pre-drilled in the plastic, it's going to be a lot safer. I don't want to break my dishes. So that's another reason I'm going to use just a manual screwdriver instead of my power drill, because I didn't want to split the plastic or anything like that. I mean, it's fairly strong, but you know, working with it like this, maybe not so much. So just a matter of getting your holes to line up for this. And I'm just screwing from the inside of the shell back. And yes, the screws do stick out in the back. I'll show you how I overcame that. But it actually worked pretty well. It seems pretty strong like this. So here is my third and final screw. Just try to make sure you get it all lined up, got those all tight. And these are the screws that are pointing out of the back. So I have that clay that I was going to use to try to make it into a stake. So I thought I would just use that. Just air dry clay from the Dollar Tree. I just put it over my screws. But again, if you had screws that were shorter, it might work better. Or even if you had like a machine screw with like a nut, that would work as well. But we're going to work with what we've got here. And I got to this point, and I love like the iridescence of the shell. I was trying to decide if I wanted to paint it or not. The little plastic ball is white already. It does have the little lines on it, but that's okay. You know, it's not exactly like a pearl, but hey, it came from the Dollar Tree, so we'll make it work. And I just drill a hole right in there with one of my larger drill bits so I can stick the little light bulb down inside to light up our pearl like that. And that way it'll make it really easy. If I need to change out solar lights, I can just pop it off and pop another one on. This is when I realized I probably do want to paint it. So I probably should have done this step before I put it on a base. So I just unscrew it from the base so that we can paint the back of the shells. I kind of wanted to make it look a little bit more realistic. So I'm just mixing together some ivory acrylic and some antique wax by Waverly and get me a nice like tan color. And I'm just going all over with this with a brush, trying to get in all the places. I'm not using a chalk paint or anything like that, but I actually did get pretty good coverage. And that allowed me to paint over like the, you know, clay part too there. To kind of cover that up where we made the little screw cover. And I do that on the top here as well. But I'm going to leave the inside that beautiful iridescent, like it would look like inside of a shell. That's kind of what I'm going for. And I think that kind of brings it out more when you paint the back of these. So I'm glad that I decided to do that. Once I got that dry with the tan, I just go over it with ivory and a chunky brush. And we're just going to try to bring out all that great detail on the shell by distressing that on there. Just a pretty simple paint job, but you guys know I love DIYing with these shell plates from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree, and I love making these shells and kind of making them look a little bit more realistic. So this is another DIY with that. Now, I know a lot of you guys are saying that your Shore Living items are gone at your Dollar Tree, but I wanted to remind you to keep checking because like I was just at a Dollar Tree today that didn't put the items out until after Easter, and they just put more stuff out today. So they might still have some. I also went in and just painted the base that same tan color just to make it blend in. And look how cool it looks now with that like shell background with that beautiful iridescence inside. I think it's so pretty. So I'm just going to use my screw it back onto my base. And you know, you could probably use this down in your landscaping with the base like that instead of a stake. It might tip over if it's windy though. I actually ended up putting mine on a table next to my front door, so it's a little bit protected and it looks so cute. So here's our little pearl. Now I wanted something kind of weatherproof, so I picked up some of this super glue epoxy from the Dollar Tree to try to glue down our little pearl inside of our shell. It didn't want to work too good, but I did get a little bit in there, mixed it up. And, it's kind of wet, so it wasn't going to dry like quickly like I needed to. So I did use a little bit of hot glue as well, just trying to make sure they didn't really touch the glues. And then I just positioned my little pearl kind of like with the little solar light leaning over to the side to kind of make it look intentional. And there it is. What do you guys think about this little solar light DIY? I think it is so whimsical and fun. This is what it looks like in the daylight. So it's still like super cute in the daylight, super sparkly with our little pearl in there as well. And then I will also show you what it looks like outside on my front porch. I did try it in my landscaping as well, and I actually liked it there a little bit better, but I thought with the base I made it as, look how beautiful this looks at night. And this is what it looks like on a table next to my front door. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm so disappointed there's no shore living this year. I did stock up on a lot of things though, so you might see them sprinkled in with DIYs. But a fun idea. I think it would look really cute with a smaller solar light as well. Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's video, be sure to hit that like button. It always helps. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. Okay, next DIY. Check out this like iridescent square jar I found at the Dollar Tree. I thought this would be really pretty. I thought that iridescence would really show off nicely with the solar light. So we're going to DIY this and make a cute little beach jar with this that lights up at night with the solar light. I'm going to use Fairy Garden. I was trying to decide what I wanted to use in this, and I decided on the sea turtle. It's nice and big, and really that's the only piece it needs in there because the jar itself's not real big. So I think that's going to be perfect in there. And so I'm just going to glue that to the bottom of the jar with just a little bit of hot glue. I wanted to make it look like a little bit of a beach scene. So we have our little sea turtle with coral. And then I'm just going to use some of that Dollar Tree like tan sand and sprinkle some in there to kind of cover the base of the jar, but not too high. And then for a little decor, I'm going to sprinkle in some of those little tiny seashells that come in the little glass bottles from the Dollar Tree. Just a variety kind of all over to make it look like a little beach scene in there. Like that. Now the opening to this jar is a little bit larger than the top of the solar light. So I'm going to show you what I did to make it where I can still use it by using some Dollar Tree rope. So the rope is going to serve two purposes. It's going to cover like the screw on part there on the glass for the lid to make that look more finished. And so I'm just going to keep going around the outside to cover that part first. And this is that same Dollar Tree rope. I think this is the thinner brown one. It doesn't really matter which one you use though. But then I'm going to start here at the top, just slightly gluing it to itself, going in a little bit each time to make it like a smaller diameter so that the light will now fit inside. So that's what we have at this point. And then I'm going to just kind of finagle that little solar light cap until it fits in there kind of by friction to hold it in place. Just kind of fixing the rope. I did get it a little tight, so I kind of pulled it apart a little bit there to get it all together. But I think that's good, and I can always change the top for this. This was my son's favorite, and so he got this for like a little nightlight for his room. I'm thinking you can recharge the solar panels on the top with regular light. So I think it might work for a nightlight. It looks really cute next to his bed. But this is how it looks like during the daylight, our little sea turtle in coral and our little sandy beach below. So it's super cute at the daytime. And this is what it looks like at night. It looks really cool all lit up because it's got like that iridescent kind of glow to it too, which I think kind of gives a fun like little under the sea vibe to our little sea turtle. And have you guys seen the beach fairy garden stuff this year? My store has a couple of items, but I can't really tell if it's just old stuff because I haven't really seen a lot of new stuff this year, which is disappointing. For the next DIY, I'm going to be using a little shore living glass vase with some twine and a little starfish around there. I think those would be really easy to recreate with a little twine and a starfish from Amazon. I like to get the little resin ones off there. So I wanted to make this into a tiny little coastal solar light. So I just filled it up with some Dollar Tree sand, and again, using some of those little tiny shells that are jarred from the Dollar Tree, just scattering in an assortment to make it look beachy inside, because you can kind of see in through the sides on this one if you look over the twine. And then I kind of want to make it look coastal again for the top of it. So I find it might be a little bit easier to do this while it's still attached to the stake. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go around the sides of this, attaching it with hot glue. That's just going to make this really easy to remove if I need to and make it look nice and coastal here on the top. I think the brown rope is one of my favorite ways to disguise them. But I am going to show you some different solar lights I also have from the Dollar Tree, and even one from the Dollar General, because I got to 19 and I needed one more solar light. And actually the ones from Dollar General are 25 cents cheaper because they're only $1. So once I get it all wrapped, I'm just going to hot glue it onto the top of our little beach scene. And I don't do a handle or anything on this one. This is just going to be a little solar light that you can sit around just about anywhere. And it's a great use for one of those jars. If you don't want to use it for a candle holder, you can use it outside and use it as a little solar light. If you wanted to line like a path with these, that'd be really cute too. You'd probably want to weigh them down a little bit though, with maybe some pebbles or something like that. But this is how it looks lit up at night. I love that beautiful like blue color. And it's already got the twine and the starfish on there, so it's already very coastal. And then the addition of our little rope light on the top. If you were trying to recreate this jar, I think you could really do it with Mod Podge, a little bit of water, and some food coloring to get that green tint, and paint it onto the inside or the outside of the jar. You might want to put it in the oven for a few minutes to bake that on. I thought this would look really pretty with that pattern on the side. This is another Dollar Tree jar with like that crisscross pattern. The first thing I'm going to do is fill it in with some Dollar Tree sand, give me a beachy sandy bottom. I just kind of want to do colors on this for the beach scene because you're not going to be able to see the details inside because of that cool pattern on it. But I thought some of these little glass beads or glass gems from the Dollar Tree would be really pretty. These are the ones that are like that blue glass that's like see-through, but also the white ones are more opaque. So I really want you to be able to see like the light through the glass. So I'm actually going to separate mine into like the blue glass marble ones and not use the like opaque white ones. And I kind of want just to kind of fill it up, make it look like ocean water, like sitting on top of the sand to kind of give an ocean feel. And using a little solar light from the Dollar Tree, that's going to fit on there pretty well on top of the jar. I did decide I wanted a little bit more of the gemstones. You could also do that with the sea glass that they have at the Dollar Tree. I'm not a big fan of the colors that comes in though. I think this is prettier, this blue color. Now I want this to be able to hang up. So before I attach the solar light, I'm going to go ahead and take some Dollar Tree twine and hot glue a little rope hanger on this one so that I can make this a hanging light like that. Now, once I have that on there, I can go ahead and hot glue on my solar light top. And I really just like using the tops for these. That just leaves a little exposed light bulb inside that will light up all of your DIYs. Now I want to kind of hide the sides of the solar light and kind of make the handles go straight up. So I'm going to kind of sandwich those under the Dollar Tree rope. I'm using the brown rope for this one. And I'm going around the glass first And then I'm also going to do like the sides of the solar light. So this one's probably not as removable, but since it's glass and I'm gonna hang it, I want it to be strong and I don't want it to break. So that's why I glued the rope on both parts and not just the top of this one. So just making sure my hanger stays towards the top. I'm just going to keep going around it until all of the sides of the solar light are covered with the rope. This is like the one that has like the prettiest design at night. It's so beautiful. I have this one out in my Florida room right now, and I'm really enjoying this one. So it took quite a bit, but that should be enough to cover the sides of the jar and the sides of the solar light. And we have a little hanging jar. It is a little on the heavy side with all of those little glass gems inside of it. And let me show you how this one looks. So we have our little ocean water on top of our sand. So you're getting that like slight coastal vibe. So it looks really pretty in the daytime. This is what it looks like in the daytime with the beautiful like rope top, kind of hanging like a buoy or something like that. But then all of those beautiful blue gemstones, they look really pretty during the daytime with a little sandy bottom, give you that beach feel. And this is the beautiful design it has at night. Isn't that amazing? The combination of the gemstones and then that crisscross pattern. And I think they have this in a few different jars at Dollar Tree with the crisscross pattern. I think they have a square one too. Both would be really pretty for a solar light DIY. I also wanted to show you what it looks like out in my Florida room. This is it sitting on my coffee table out there. It's just glorious. I love it. And I really love it hanging by the rope like that. The nice long hanger on there makes it easy to hang. And I love that pattern with the light. We have another solar light DIY. This is a little jar, I guess a little candle holder from the Dollar Tree. I think it looks coastal though, because it has like the little jute twine handle already on it. So I thought we could try to do a solar light kind of on a smaller scale. But again, using some of these little fairy garden figurines from the Dollar Tree. This one just had like 3 different kinds of seashells. They're all really pretty and well painted. And so I think 3 is going to fit perfectly in this size jar. So I'm just hot gluing those to the bottom to make sure those stay in place. And we can make a small little solar light. This would be great on a little table or for like party decor or something like that. This would actually be really cute inside your house too if you could keep your solar light charged. So there's our little 3 seashells. Gonna cover the bottom again with a little bit of that Dollar Tree brown sand. I kind of like the brown better than the white, but you could use the white as well. Then I thought I would try a different option to cover the sides of the solar light. I'm gonna use one of these little burlap bags from the Dollar Tree, just because it's so easy to cut and DIY with. And I'm just going to cut out a strip about the same size as the side of the solar light. And I'm just going to cover that with burlap. I think the burlap's going to look like nice and coastal, but it's going to kind of give us a cleaner, different feel than the rope that we've been using on a lot of these solar light DIYs. So just gluing that all the way around to cover up the top of that. Now I can take the top of the little solar light off, again, just the top, and attach that to the top of the jar. It is a really good fit on this one. And since this one doesn't have like a screw lid on there, there's nothing really to cover up with that. And so this was a great reason to use the burlap. And I just attached that with hot glue. Again, I am using hot glue on purpose on these just because if I want to be able to switch the little solar lights, I totally can. And here it is, our little kind of smaller scale seashell light. I think this is going to be really pretty. I'm using this. I kind of lined these on the dining table out in my Florida room. I think they look so cute. This is how the little seashell jar looks during the day. As you can see, those little seashells from the Dollar Tree, beautiful colors, and see how well they're painted. And this is what it looks like lit up at night. It's nice and bright because it's a nice small jar, but I think it's super coastal and cute. And it does have a handle, so you could always hang it as well if you needed to. And I really love the burlap. It kind of gives a fun texture instead of just the metal on the side of the solar light. But so easy and cute. You could also do this with some real seashells, of course. I never come home empty-handed from the beach. Okay, now I showed you these before. This is a different kind of the solar lights from the Dollar Tree. We're going to actually use these as solar lights, but I wanted to show you a fun, easy way to DIY them as soon as I figure out how to put this thing together. I did it. Okay, so these are great. I don't think I've ever really seen these at the Dollar Tree before, but they have these in silver and black. They are like the long cylinder tube-like ones, and I thought they would look really pretty in my landscaping. Put one on each corner so you can kind of see that at night. And I thought a quick, easy way to decorate the sides of that where it glows is to use some of these glass stickers from the Dollar Tree. And these are some of the new ones from this year. I thought like a sea turtle, a little crab, and trying to figure out what I have room for, maybe a dolphin. Just so easy. You could really use any kind of sticker. I think the glass stickers may be a little bit more see-through. I did not have the problems with the bubbling on these, maybe because they're smaller, maybe because it's more opaque. I'm not sure. But I just pop the bottom back on mine. And again, we're just going to use these as stakes. I think they're nice and elegant. I really like the style on these. And I think those little stickers look great because they have like a gray or silver dots on them already. So this is how it looks sitting without the stand during the daylight. So you could always just pop the stand off and have a little standing light like this as well, which would be super cute if you did not need to stake it to the ground. Another great thing about the design of these, but this is how it looks staked into my landscaping out front of my house. And it was so easy to put together and inexpensive. I really like those. I liked the silver ones more than the ones with the black. And any of the glass stickers or like the sticky decals from the Dollar Tree, I think would work really well for that. Maybe even some of the rub-ons that they have from time to time. So I actually got 2 of them. So this one is going to be, I'm going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it for the other side of my landscaping. And again, we're just going to use some of those glass stickers from the Dollar Tree. Online, they have the same glass stickers as last year with the Shore Living line, but in the stores, they have these different ones. And I love them both, but this year they had the smaller ones, like the sea creatures that we just used, and then these corals. So it's great for like a smaller project like this. Now that tag can be a little bit hard to get off. I just used a little Goo Gone to get all the residue off to make sure that's nice and clean. And then I thought we could fill this one up with coral. So it'd be a little different than the other one, but still super easy to just peel and stick these little glass stickers on the side. And if you're real creative, you could paint something on there as well. I'll go with someone else's art. And so I think 3 again would be a good number for this one. Just kind of decorating every side so it is cute from all directions. That's all there is to it. Another super easy Dollar Tree little DIY. I do go back and add some bubbles because, hey, why not? We're under the sea here, right? And I tried a starfish, but it didn't want to cooperate. I think that is really pretty. And I've used these coral stickers on a planter out front too, so it'll coordinate nicely with those. And look how pretty that looks in the daytime. So it's really decorative, more decorative than if you just left it plain silver and plastic. And then let me show you what this looks like all lit up in my landscaping. This is my favorite out of the 2 that I did. I really like the colors on this and I really like the coral details. Nobody would know that these came from the Dollar Tree for real. So pretty and so easy. So I really only needed 2 of those, so I think those 2 are going to work great. And I think I messed up putting those in the corner of my landscaping because all the delivery people and yard people just constantly like kicked them over. Okay, let's move on to some fun stuff. Now, this is a little party cup from the Dollar Tree that's supposed to light up, but mine doesn't, but oh well. Because we're going to light it up with a solar light anyway. I just got to figure out how to do this. Now, this would be a really fun, whimsical decoration, or this would be a great party decoration if you were doing a luau or a tropical theme. But we just got to figure out how to attach a solar light to the palm leaves on the top of this cup. But we have to leave the little solar panel open so that the sun can recharge our little light. So I think really the only way that's going to work is just to cut all the leaves down into individual pieces, and then we can attach those to the solar light like that. And so they'll still come down like the edges of the tree. I'm going to leave the cup blue because I think it's fun and beachy. And I'm going to leave these green as well. So this was really easy to put together as well. I'm just going to use this like a party decor, but it also looks really fun out in my Florida room anyway, because I kind of have a tropical feel out there. So I could kind of use this year round. But I wanted to show you all the cool things you could do with solar lights with the plastic cups from the Dollar Tree that they have out now for the summer. Now, just to weigh it down to make it not so cheap and plastic-like, I don't want it tipping over, I just use some of those white pebbles and just go up a little ways in that to weigh down the base. And then I'm going to replace the top of it with this. Now, I actually made this DIY. Well, this is one of the first ones that I made. And so, yeah, as you can see, I forgot to take off the little plastic piece there because I hadn't learned, because this lights up so much better without that little piece of the solar light that concentrates the light in one area. So I do pop that off later to fix that. So that's why I did that. And so now I just want to go ahead and attach all 6 of the little palm leaves. And so easy. You have a little bit of room around the edges where you can hot glue those on. And if you do block the solar panel, you're not going to be blocking very much. So I kind of go opposite sides, so those will be even, and then I'll do 2 on each side in between. And this worked out really well. It looks really fun and tropical, but again, it's nice and functional because it lights up with the solar panel. So it is fully constructed, our little blue palm tree. So fun. The solar light fits perfectly on the side, on the top of that jar. But this is me popping it off so that I can get that little plastic piece out of there, because it lights up the whole like cup without it and not just a little part of it. So remember to take those things off, an important step in these DIYs. I'm just going to clean up the hot glue and then glue it right back on. So one reason why I'm using the hot glue on these, as you can see, it does make it possible to remove them if you need to, but you do need to have them attached so they will kind of stay together. Wouldn't this really be really cute, like on a tropical luau party table? And it would be functional because at night it would light up as well. This would be really cute to like line your path to like a luau too, something like that, because they're nice and tall, and especially if you weigh them down like that at the bottom. And this is how it looks during the daytime, our little solar light palm tree. They have these in different colors. If you don't like the color of yours, you might be able to change the color, but I kind of like the clear plastic because the light comes through it well. And this is how it looks out in my Florida room at night. It's very bright now that I took out that one little part of the solar light. And this held up really well in the shelter of my Florida room. But when I did put it out in the sun, the hot glue did not want to keep those leaves on there. So it might be great for a party or a sheltered porch for sure, but very whimsical and fun. And I love a good palm tree, right? Now, this is another one of the summer cups from the Dollar Tree that I thought would be really fun to do. You could do like a little summer beach theme with these, but I think it'd also be really great for a party or a luau. But we've used rope a lot, so I want to try to use some different ways to disguise the sides of the little solar lights. So this is some of that spring ribbon and that bright pink color. I think that's going to coordinate nicely with our little flamingo. And the top of that cup is just about the right size for one of these little solar lights to fit right on top. And you're going to have a little light up flamingo light, which is really fun. I like decorate with flamingos year round. You guys know me. So I also think that if you did a bunch of these and strung them together like party lights, or if you strung them together like we did the seashells, it would look really cute. I'm just going to do one to kind of show you how it will look for fun. But that's how it looks at this point. Now, I do want to kind of disguise the little area where I unscrewed the lid. And I wanted to try a different kind of rope. So this is some of that white nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. Kind of the thicker, so it doesn't take much, right? Just to kind of see if you get a different vibe by using a different rope. And I think so. I think that white contrasts nicely with our little pink flamingo too. And now we can just glue on the top, which is the little solar light with the pink ribbon on it. And how easy is that? If you're like preparing for a party, I'm just going to make mine a little table decoration, which would look great on a party table. But if you wanted to make yours hung or strung them all up, I think that would be so cute too. This is how our little flamingo looks during the daytime. So he's super cute and tropical. Now, when he lights up at night, I notice most of him lights up. Maybe not his head so much, but let me show you how he looks at night as well. Nice and bright and pink. And wouldn't that look cute if you like strung these up as party lights? I think that would look really fun. And I've done lots of pink flamingo Dollar Tree DIYs on my channel. Always a fan favorite. I know I'm not the only one out there that loves a good pink flamingo in their decor for summer. And you know, I love decorating for like luau, tiki parties, stuff like that. I think that would be great for it, but I also think this little plastic cup from the Dollar Tree would be perfect. They have these in all different colors. They have these small cups like this. They also have the large ones that you could use as well. And since they're that blue plastic, it's going to make it glow nice and blue. And you're going to get that fun little tiki face in there. Reminds me of Hawaii. And I thought we would try something different to cover the sides of the solar light because we've used rope a lot. So let's try using one of these like little spring purses from the Dollar Tree. I think this always gives me like a nice like seagrass look. Kind of what I was going for on this one was kind of like a little bit of a grass skirt vibe, but on a very small scale to kind of cover up the top parts of the solar light. So I'm just cutting around just to cut strips out of this. And I think that's going to work really fun. It's going to go with the theme of this, like the little luau tiki theme. So I'm going to use one piece to cover with the screw part of where I took the lid off this little cup. And they had these in all different colors. It'd be cute if you lined these up, different colors, or these would look really cute if you strung them up as well. I'm just going to try to do some party table decor for these. Now I'm going to use that same little purse from the Dollar Tree and cover the sides of the solar light as well. It is going to take a couple strips to go all the way around. And definitely disguises that and makes it look more intentional with like that grass skirt vibe. It's going to go more with the theme. I did kind of want to cover it all the way, so I'm going to do a third row, just kind of overlapping them as I go. And I think that looks pretty cool. So we're just going to pop that off, the little solar stake. And again, we're just going to attach it to the top. But I don't want it to fall over because it's just plastic again. And so I'm just going to put some white pebbles in the bottom, just something to weigh it down, but not something that you're really going to be able to see from the outside. I don't want to take away from that cool pattern. And this one looks so cool when you light it up at night because it gives you that fun tiki pattern in the light pattern when you light it up. So I just attached that with hot glue. And I think that little purse worked great to cover the top of it. This is how our little tiki cup looks during the daytime. Still super cute and really themed. I have several luau videos on my channel. If you're looking to throw a luau party with supplies from the Dollar Tree, I've got some really fun ideas for you, but this would go nicely. See how it kind of gives you that face glow pattern like all over the place? So very detailed, and it's so bright at night with the solar light inside, and this would definitely be perfect for a night-themed tiki party. And that is such a fun DIY. I also got a really large tiki glass at Dollar Tree today. I want to try to make a really big one. That is 20 solar light DIYs. I hope you got lots of crafting inspiration today and had a lot of fun with me. Please let me know which solar light was your favorite down in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my second YouTube channel, Crafty Little Beach, trying to get monetized over there still. It is for shorter videos on your phone.
1, 2, 3. Remember when you told me that I should take it slow, but I can't stay when the world is waiting. I'm too used to being on my own. Hearts will break, but I have to chase it. I'm dancing on the edge again. The wind is calling my name. I'm dancing on the edge again. This time I'm not looking back, babe. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll be back, goes in every place I find. I'll break the molds with a rebel's mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. I remember when you told me I should settle down, but these restless feet won't keep me grounded. The open road's the only place I found where I feel alive, and the stars will guide me. I'm dancing on the edge again. The wind is calling my name. I'm dancing on the edge again. This time I'm not looking back, babe. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll be back, goes in every place I find. I'll break the molds with a rebel's mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. A free-born mind. A free-born mind. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll be fat, goes in every place I find. I break the molds with a rebel's mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll be fat, goes in every place I find. I break the molds with a rebel's mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll be fat, goes in every place I find. I break the molds with a rebel's mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. In a world of green, just like a dream, you Whispers of the breeze, secrets unfold. It's you that I need, it's you that I want. When the world gets cold, it's you and me. When the sun comes back, you'll see. Oh, dandelion, the strength that you've shown, stronger each year. Look how we hold on through the toughest of times. We still stand strong. Through pavement we will grow. Forever we will grow. Deep within your eyes, I found a home. The love that we share can never grow. In your gaze, the world looks bright. Forever by your side. This town is quiet, serene and wide. You keep me warm and safe at night. No matter the season, we always bloom. 'Cause you light up the gloom. Oh, dandelion, the strength that you've shown, stronger each year. Look how we hold on through the toughest of times. We still stand strong. Through pavement we will grow. Oh, dandelion, the strength that you've shown, stronger each year. Look how we hold on through the toughest of times. We still stand strong. Through pavement we will grow. Forever we will grow. Forever we will grow.
I don't know where she came from. Kinda turned me upside down. I just don't know what to do. I wanna spend the night at hers and bring her one of my t-shirts so it smells like her perfume. Now I really get what the love songs are talking about. And I just wanna tell her how I feel, scream it out loud. Have you ever been in love? Have you ever lost your head? Have you felt like you were out of breath when you saw her in that dress? When your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at her smile, then you've been in love. That's how you know you've been in love. There's something about the way she laughs and the way she always dances when she thinks nobody sees. And when she's gone, I miss her so. I tell her, baby, please don't go. I think you should stay with me. And I really get what the love songs are talking about. Oh, and I just wanna tell her how I feel, scream it out loud. Have you ever been in love? Have you ever lost your head? Have you felt like you were out of breath when you saw her in that dress? When your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at her smile, then you've been in love. That's how you know you've been in love. upside down. I just don't know what to do. I wanna spend the night with her, sprinkle one of my t-shirts so it smells like her perfume. Have you ever been in love? Have you ever lost your head? Have you felt like you were out of breath when you saw her in that dress? When your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at her smile, then you've been in love. That's how you know you've been in love.
Looking for my mother's eyes as I'm staying close to the mirror. A lock of gold, a secret smile, little things I remember. Place a hand upon my heart as her, she was a believer. Sometimes I can feel her arms holding me as forever. Time changes everything, and everything will change in time. Love changes every heart, and any heart can change you. I see in you my mother's eyes, and I lay your head to my shoulder. A lock of gold, a secret smile, I will tell you when you get older. I place a hand upon your heart, every beat is taking me over, and I will hold you.
And I would like to give a huge thank you to everybody for watching the video all the way to the end. And of course, a thank you to all of my YouTube members. Thank you to Karen O'Haran, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Tracy Knight, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Donna Schreiner, I Am Mojo Jojo, Live Another Day, Maren Christensen, Adrian Brolt, Debbie Middleton, Donna Tanner, Kim Rogers, Maria Cruz Pagan, and Sarah Tratner. And those are all listed and how long they've been members, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you would like to become a Crafty Beach Bum member, all you have to do is hit the join button next to today's video. Might be easier to do on your computer than a phone. Not sure. But you're going to get early ad-free access to my content here on YouTube, a badge next to your name, and a shout out in every video. And I'd also love to see what you've been crafting. Make sure you're a member of our private Facebook group. It's linked in the description of today's video. And show us what you've been making. I always also have my Amazon list and a Dollar Tree link in all of my videos if you need to do some online shopping. If you'd like some more solar light crafting inspiration, be sure to check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, happy crafting, everyone.